You know, most people my age are usually out partying, smoking, having fun, or just, like chilling, living their teenage lives. But I chose MMA, and I'm going to be explaining in this video on why I chose MMA at 16 years old. So I first discovered MMA at about 4 years old. I was about 4 years old from what I remember, and my dad was making me just do some light training, like just some boxing stuff, a couple punches, some push-ups, sit-ups, a couple takedown drills, and, light stuff like that around 4 years old. Now, around, I would say 10 is when I really dove deep into training. I joined up my first wrestling team. I was wrestling consistently, I think 3 days of the week. Then on the other 2 days, I was also doing boxing and, kickboxing and all that with my dad. And then, I just continued doing it. And when I realized I wanted to be a UFC champion, when I knew that this is what I was going to do professionally and what I wanted to do when I was older, was at 13 years old. When I was 13 is when I realized, okay, I have the ability to do this. I have the capability to do it. I have the skills, the talent, the hard work, the discipline, the drive, and it would be such a shame to waste it, and just not do anything with it. So at 13, I realized I want to be UFC champion. Now, when I realized I wanted to be the youngest UFC champion, it came a little bit later in time. It came around when I was like 14 or 15, like early 15, when I started the YouTube channel, about a little over a year ago, is when I realized that I want to be the youngest UFC champion. Before I had the goal of becoming a UFC champion, I didn't really care what age. But then I realized, why not become a UFC champion, but just do it better than all these other UFC champions? Why not become the youngest UFC champion of all time? Of an age that someone might not break, 21 might make me the youngest UFC champion in history. I mean, who knows? Maybe my kid will break it, but I don't know. Maybe who knows who can break it. But that's when I realized, okay, I want to set a record, and this is the record that I'm gonna set. So that's when I realized I wanted to be a UFC champion and also the youngest UFC champion. Now, since I was 13, and since I really got serious into this, I've given up a lot of stuff in my life. That comes from hanging out with friends, missing out on, missing out just going out with people, or like, I do get, texts from friends like, hey, come out, let's go smoke, or let's go just sneak out and go hang out. And I'm not friends with those people anymore. I completely cut those types of people off in my life because those are very distracting people. And I'm not a bad kid, and I don't ever want to do stuff like that. I don't ever want to get near drugs, near alcohol, partying. None of that is in my life. And I'm a very chill person. I'm a religious person. I'm a Muslim, and we don't touch that stuff. And I'm just very happy with the way my life is going right now. So I don't do anything. I didn't give that up. I used to hang out with my friends. I never did anything bad. At my younger ages, like 13 and 12, and from 13 to like like 13 and before, I never was a bad kid. I never drank. I never smoked or anything obviously like that. So I've been very clean of everything, and I'm so happy. Thank God. He's never put me in any bad situations like that. But now, I also want to talk about is, what does MMA give me? What is the purpose of MMA? What is it like mentally to me, and why am I just so intrigued, and why would I want to do it? It's a very simple answer. It's mainly just because I want to be a role model for the younger generation. I want to be a big role model for all these kids. When I'm like 21 and there's maybe 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, younger even, that are watching me, I want them to know that, hey, I want to be like this guy, because nowadays we don't have a great role model base. The people that are growing up now are growing up next to just the most messed up shit in life, and it's like I don't I want to be a person who can maybe possibly change that. A person like, I want to be like Khabib. He's a very religious guy. He has an amazing fan base full of Muslims, and little kids look up to him. He has a gym in his country. Stuff like that is something I want to be, but maybe just a better version. I'm not saying anything bad about Khabib. No, never. I respect Khabib 100%, but I could maybe do it better. And that's why I want to, also why I want to fight, because that gives me a purpose, a really big purpose. And I also want to just, I want to do this for my family as well, because my family, we have an interesting thing going on, but I want my family to have a really big name, and this sport will make that happen. So, I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not doing this to be like just talk smack or like, oh, hey guys, look at me. Like, no, I'm not doing this for any of that. I'm doing this for myself. And, if you got a dream too, like if you have a dream, man, just chase that dream, or else your dreams are just gonna, die away, and you're never gonna be able to get close to it. You don't want to be 80 years old sitting on the sofa thinking, damn, I could have actually done something with this when I was younger, and then you just have the biggest regret ever. You don't ever want that. And like I said, if you got a dream, just chase it, man. If no matter if your friends don't believe in you, your family doesn't believe in you, if you have it in your heart and God wants it to happen for you, it's gonna happen for you, bro. So don't ever, don't ever let someone take you down or drag you down or anything like that. So you either watch your dreams die or you make them happen, is what I say pretty much. So it's a pretty it's pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, just chase your dreams and don't ever let no one take them down. And yeah, man, that's like that's pretty much the end of this video, man. So if you're grinding too with training and stuff like that, please subscribe. This journey is literally just getting started. I already have 33 episodes of my road to becoming UFC champion, and this video, this journey is still continuing and still starting. It would be great to look in the past and realize like, hey man, look at this kid, and he actually did it. So that would be a really good feeling. But yeah, man, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Have a blessed day, everybody.